Marie Nipinak.
My name is Charlotte Deepnack.
Christy St. Paul.
Dennis, St. Paul.
Madeline Catchway.
My name is Anne Horvath.
Patrick Catchway.
My name is Blaine Catchway.
Dalen Catchway.
My name's Peyton Catchway.
My name's Ricky Campbell.
My name is Alexis, but I go by Al. Catchway Mod.
We got trained with psychodrama. We got years of intense training. So a bunch of us Indigenous people took the training and then we added our ceremonies. So that's why we call it doctoring. So, we have all the tools that we learned in psychodrama. So then now we add 7 sacred ways of healing. And then we add our sacred objects, our sacred items with that. So we intertwine it all together because we found that it's all the same healing practices with 7 sacred and in our doctrine ceremonies as well.
Well, people come to us for stuff that they're going through in their life, if it's health or mental health or hardships. They come to us and then we meet them where they're at. And whatever it is, we don't know. We just work with whatever they come in with.
So what we were doing at the building was body work. It's a tool that was adopted by us in the community, and we brought our traditional ways to that kind of work, that kind of healing work. We brought in our pipes and we brought in our medicines, and it evolved into ceremony. But from finding out from other elders, it was already there. We already had that kind of work a long time ago, but it was hidden. It was put away because of colonialism, and we brought it back. We brought it back out for the people.
Charlotte helped me too. My daughter, she helped me walk through the 7 sacred ways. Because being a residential school person, I didn't know what life was about. I started having children in my younger years because I didn't know how to take care of myself.
When I was growing up, I grew up in a Christian home. I didn't know anything about the traditional way of living, the teachings that are out now, like the healing part, the creator, all those things. And but I guess that I'll say that the teachings that I got from my grandparents was the respect and the trusting, but with the traditional teaching, I didn't know anything about it. I kind of my mind was here, like how I was taught in the Christianity.
So I was born and raised in the Pentecostal Christianity life until maybe I was about 23. And then after that, I just became very curious of our Indigenous culture, our Indigenous ways. I became very, very curious. For myself, when I started I think I was 18 when I started to be angry with the church. 17, 18, like that. And then I remember being confused about the church and our ways. I remember being, conflicted, there's this way and there's that way. I grew up both, but now I was getting angry with the church and I stopped going for a long time. And I still really don't go, but I still pray the way we were taught
with rosaries. I still pray with those and believe in the power of those for myself. You know what I mean? Like, just not and there's still people that say stuff, but that's them. I just say that's not for me. For me, this feels right. So I respect the church. I respect our ways, and um, I can separate that of what the church did to our people from today. For myself, I'm taking the good, I guess you could say, from from the from the church and what happened to our people, eh?
When the traditional healing, the trauma part came in, I believe it was in 87, I think it was. And that's when the first, when Charlotte and Marie took to that train for 2 years. And I didn't want to be part of it because I didn't know what to expect. So now slowly I learned along the way by talking to Charlotte, by talking with Marie, with other people that were taking the program. That helped me. That helped me more to understand my way of living, and like I have a lot of respect for the healing part, and I have a lot of respect for like the people that their other beliefs.
Living in Skownan when I was born, and the culture in Skownan around that time was very scarce. Like it was only like a handful of people, like maybe like probably count on your hand how many people were following the culture that time.
I grew up in a home where my parents were Catholic. My mom's still Catholic. We went to church, and it wasn't until later that I remembered that I really looked at what I seen growing up. So I used to see my parents smudge people. People would come to my mom and my dad and get smudged, like with cedar or sweetgrass or sage, and people would be crying. Like from the community, I remember this one lady that she never. Yeah, my parents would say hi and all that, but she came to my mom and dad and she was crying, and they smudged her. They put a sheet over her head and they smudged her down, and I didn't understand it. I didn't question it. I was just a kid running around, and I remember going to Sundance back where my dad's from in Ebenflow, and I remember sitting on the outside with my grandparents, and I was small, and once in a while I'd go peek in the trees and look inside. But I remember the music, and it was early in the morning, and here it was a Sundance, and I didn't know till years later like what it was.
I was born in '86, so around that time there's like very, very rare. Like I know people in those days had to kind of hide like the ceremony from people, because a lot of people were unknown to it. Like I remember just smudging once in a while, like when I was 4 or 5, but and my uncles would be the ones smudging once in a while.
Me and my sister grew up in ebb and flow from 1 years old to maybe 5 years old, and I do remember our traditional ways. We grew up like that. I remember I went to Sundance when I was 4 years old, and yeah, we moved to Skownan, and my dad kept us in the traditional ways. We've always been fond of sweat lodge and medicine picking. My great grandma was a medicine woman, and her her house was full of medicine. So, I grew up that way.
I remember going to my grandmother's place. I didn't know she was a medicine woman. My great grandmother, she was a medicine woman. A lot of people knew her around the area and would take their kids there and take their families there. And she picked medicines and she made medicines and she helped people. I didn't know that till later. And I think I was maybe about 9 when she passed.
I wanted to learn more about my my traditional and cultural belief because I wasn't told growing up about the medicines, about all the stuff that we are learning today. And as I talk to Charlotte, talk to Marie, like I'll ask them about the medicines, the sage, the sweetgrass, and what they're used for. I go to those sessions sometimes, and if I'm not sure, then I'll ask Charlotte if I have a medicine, like, and when do I use it? How do I use it? I smudge my home, like I smudge myself. Not every day, but I do when something is bothering me. I'll smudge. I'll smudge my whole house. I'll smudge my little grandkids to teach them. So it became like for me, I'm learning. I'm learning every day.
It's part of my life as an Indigenous person. It's part of who I am. It'll always be part of my life. You know, my drum, my pipe, my whatever that comes with it. And it's me, it's mine, it's my, it walks with me in my life.
Our ways didn't start coming back to Skownan till I was 15, 16. They started off with fasting, and it started coming after the barricade that happened in my community. And then I started learning more, and that's where my heart was.
I was 23 years old when I basically woke up one day feeling totally empty, didn't know my purpose in this life, didn't know if God or a higher power even existed because I was feeling pretty crappy and wanted to take my own life. And there was a life skills program, so then I took life skills, and life skills helped me become very aware of my actions and my behaviors, to understand what a balanced, self-determined person could be. It helped me to want to do more. It helped me to want to do more searching about myself, about how do you become that happier person, like not to be depressed, not to be oppressed, not to be feeling all these negative feelings or thoughts.
When I was around 5 or 6, my family was getting back into the traditional life, reintroducing it into their lives, and I was kind of like a witness to that. And I do remember how the atmosphere felt in our home. Like there wasn't a whole lot of life to it. No culture in our household.
When I first heard the drum, like somewhere, it was so beautiful, it was so amazing, and it touched my spirit, and it brought some form of healing and connection. So, and then when I got my own drum, it was beautiful, it was amazing, and to sing with the drum is beautiful because it helped me heal, it helped me reclaim my voice, helped me reclaim who I was as an Indigenous person. And it helped me reclaim my language too, because sing songs in the language.
When I hear the drumming, the drummers singing, I feel it right away. Then when I close my eyes, like I'll see like something that's going around, like whenever I close my eyes, and then it's calming, and I feel it here, and tears would sometimes come down, like how relaxing the music is, and for me, it's healing.
I got introduced to the culture when I was about 8 years old. My uncle Ken Catchway held one of the first sweats I known in Skownan. We went over to his place and went to my first sweat that time.
I remember in grade, I don't know if it was grade 1 or 2. I can't remember, maybe even 4. I remember reading the textbook, and it was social studies, and they talked about our people. And I was just like, what? Our people live like this? You know, like I kind of knew and I sort of knew about it because we would go to powwows, but I wasn't really like. So I remember at that age, that's when I used to start wishing for more of these ways. I would question my parents, you know. My one cousin I had, how come she gets a spirit name? I want one. Like, and I thought I had to be sick because she was sick, eh? And I want one. Like, how come, you know, how come we don't live like this anymore, Mom? How come? Like, I had so many questions. I met Josie Bear, late Josie Bear from Peguis in 1994. Like, I'll never forget that day. I'll never forget, it was a 3 or 4 day workshop, and it was about healing the inner child. No clue what that was at all. But whatever it was scary, but yet it was something that was so beautiful. Something that this is what was missing in my life when I talked about that empty cup. And realized after that it's a lifelong journey. And then from there, I just kept taking more programs, more self-inward healing.
As I grew up, started getting towards being 10 years old, maybe, starting to think for myself a little bit, I started paying attention to what was going on in their lives. My grandmother going to Sundance and getting a sweat lodge in our backyard, and she was instilling those teachings in me as a young boy, but I wasn't walking it myself. Rather, she was holding my hand and walking it, making me walk with her. But I wasn't really digesting it for me. That didn't start until maybe I was 14, 15, when I started noticing that I maybe had baggage. At that age, I was kind of thinking, that's not me. I don't have all that intergenerational trauma. And then as I became 16 years old, they were all fully into it. My bikuku, my kuku. A lot of people in the community were getting back onto the traditional life. And I noticed that they were all healing in their own ways because that they introduced the traditions into their lives, walking that way of life.
My dad, he was heavy into drinking. Like, he was alcoholic when I was a kid, like from when I was born till about I was 10 years old. That's when he put down the bottle. He quit alcohol, and he introduced us to the culture. And he learned a lot from his mentor at the time, the late Mark Thompson. He's from Saging.
Around 1994 is when I met one of my beautiful mentors, late Josephine Bear from Peguis. And then from there, you know, I sat with her in a circle, and I was really amazed at what was happening and what I was feeling when no one else was experiencing what I was experiencing. And from there, I became very open to it, and something that was helping me in my life, and that's what I started to learn, and it's going to be with me till I'm done here on this earth. It's always been in my heart to walk this way, to live this way, the way that I live with our teachings, and then I started to understand later, like when I was on university, I understood, wow, we had our ways. I grew up in our ways. I was taught to be humble. I was taught to respect. I was taught to love the earth, keep it clean. I was taught to the truth, like to be truthful, to be honest, and the teaching of wisdom, all those teachings. I grew up with them. Yes, stuff wasn't perfect sometimes in our home. I did experience my parents with alcohol and all that stuff. Whatever happened, abuse happened. I experienced lots, but the main thing I realized when I was older, I think in my 30s, was that we had the culture all this time. I knew those teachings for babies, teachings how to. I seen them. I know what the swing means. I know what putting a bonnet means on your newborn baby. I know why you keep the belly button. I know a lot of stuff that I grew up with that is from like passed down from over there, from way back. And I didn't realize that till I was in my 30s. And then I was very grateful, and then I started to become more proud to be Anishinaabe.
Our community kind of learned a lot from other Anishinaabe reserves. I know there was Carl Bird that helped us from Peguis, and later on there's just other knowledge keepers from other communities. There's Soto Reserve, Cody First Nation. There's Big Bear. He came, shared us some teachings, and more recently Shelly Cody.
And then from there, I just kept taking more programs, more self-inward healing, and going deeper and deeper, meeting more people, meeting more mentors, and then took the other program that I took was psychodrama body therapy, and it came into my life at the nick of time once again, and it saved my life once again, and then I decided, okay, I'll go take some training to be a helper. So I'm a helper today in now it's called Seven Sacred Ways. So now I've become a helper, and it's another tool of healing which helped me greatly.
I too do full moon ceremonies with the ladies. I help the ladies. I learned from Charlotte, Duck, and Chrissy. We sometimes work together. And also I am a Sundance Lodge carrier, me and Charlotte. At first, I was scared. What do I know to carry that? Who am I to do this kind of work? When I was offered that tobacco, I took that tobacco and I prayed, asked Creator to lead me, to walk with me, learn from there, and this is what I do today. I think this is going to be our 3rd year coming up.
When I started trying to take it for myself, trying to put myself into that way of life, That's really when my healing journey started. It wasn't until I was 18, 19 when I really wanted to do it for me. And that was around the time when I first did my first session of Seven Sacred.
7 Sacred Ways of Healing Trauma. I started this work after years of working on myself. Gifts kept coming naturally, I guess you could say. But of course, I guess what I can say is I had to earn them too. So I sundanced, I fasted, I did my part, I guess, to earn those gifts as well. Working on myself, still working on myself to this day, still learning about how to handle situations, how to be.
I learned lots. I'm still learning, as I say. I like helping people, whoever it may be. Teenagers, when they ask me, can I talk to you? I make time for them. Maybe they come to my house or even a phone call. And I am not the one to push someone aside to say I'm not ready. I can't talk to you. No, I can't. I always want to talk to people because they trust me.
I always wanted to go to wherever late Louise Hay was living in the United States, Los Angeles or something. And I always thought, oh, I want to go and sit in one of her seminars, her workshops. And then she passed away at the age of 91. And I thought, well, I'll never have that opportunity. And then all of a sudden I hear that her philosophy of training is being taught in Banff. And I went. It was another level of healing in my own life. Beautiful, beautiful. It's about the willingness to change, the willingness, to move out of negativity and to stay on the positive thought mode. And I practice that all day in my mind. An elder came up to me and asked me, Onish, is jiggy kuma wega na kamisiak, maga mamu biak. Daina, doesn't damin hijaya inan. Anish na be chigonom desot, whether bean jay. Anin enandang, anin enamanjiot. Anin eja bemosadang op madizien. Chin seday nang nishkadiziwen. Chin seday nang kishin segizit. Chin seday nang yagai. Ya kama wishkagut. Minyan chidajin jagadeging. Anin jay. Anin sago jiji maminan daming uma nungum tugu wedi jawabang. Ni wagego mitsu isasamen uma utanang. Ni wa wisingan damoinan anishnabe ubimidonan. Migo yab misamagat ya kita benoji minanakisha. Mia chidajin daming. Chi doing chin sede naming. Mia.
It's looking into the past, dealing with it, dealing with the anger, whatever is stored in the body, anger, fear, and sadness, having a look at it, going there and talking about it, the body actions, what emotions do to the body, where it's stored, where it's hiding, and what we as human beings don't want to talk about. The abuses, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, everything that ties down a human being. And I explain what I've been through, the walk I've been, where I've been, the abuses I went through, and letting them go is a big relief from your body, and big eye opener.
It's not everyone follows, the indigenous spirituality with all of the sacred items that we use. So, we're in tune, and we listen, we pay attention, we follow lead.
So when people come to me or us, and they don't know what we do, and they have the fears or whatever of things they may have heard, or I don't know, we just tell them a little bit about ourselves, our background, where we grew up, how we came to be where we are today, and how we came to work together. And so we'll give them that background, and tell them, if they don't even know what they're there for, because sometimes that happens, then we just tell them, this what's the biggest thing in your life right now that maybe you need help with, or is there something you're struggling with? And we just figure it out from there. We just go with their flow.
Well, if you came to us and, depending, so we would kind of like do like an assessment and, follow lead, like where you're going with your emotions. There's always 3 emotions: anger, fear, and sadness. Those are the main, and then everything else, is attached to it. So then we would, after our assessment and after we would follow your, where you're going with it, and then we would help you, walk you through all of that. We would then ask you, you just want to do some talk therapy, do you want to go on the table meaning like the massage table. Some people do prefer to do their work there. And it all depends on the tools that we use. There's a bag, it's an anger bag. There's a flat mat we put on the floor, and people can do their releases there. Or we bring in our tools, like the ceremony. We'll bring our poganak, which is the sacred pipes, and all the other sacred objects that we use. So it's following our intuition and the gifts that we were given, and then we follow that person where it is that they need to go. And we always ask them, is this right? Is this, we watch the body language. We watch, we've been trained and with good teachers and good mentors, and yeah, that's what we do. It's all different with everyone that comes.
They ask you questions, like they try to get to know the root of what's bothering you. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes you might be afraid because, right, you never done it before, and it's scary to bring your problem to the surface. But yeah, they'll talk to you, and then body work might become, I don't know, the main, how do I say that, the main aspect, yeah. And so, like, they'll lay you on a mat or something like that and start kind of massaging you with their elbows and stuff. And if it hurts, that's where you're carrying all your anger and sadness and stuff like that. And usually they get you to try yell to release all the toxins that you're holding in your body.
Well, it's pretty much about looking within yourself, a self journey of your behaviors, how you act, how you behave, how you think, how you feel. What are your ways of coping? Whether it be how do you react in certain types of situations, learning about anger, learning about sadness, learning about fear, and how it affects our entire being.
To me, it's like more of a intense type of therapy. And it's just once you start, it kind of opens it up, and it's just something you kind of keep consistent with. But I found it helped me a lot.
When I went and visit Charlotte, Duck, and Chrissy, they invited me to just to go and see what they're doing. So I went, and they asked me like what was why I'm here, like just about my body, how I like aching and all that, and they doctored me, and it was very good. And I didn't go once, maybe I went twice. It was very nice that they were there for that, for me, how about my body.
I would say it's absolutely real, but you need to believe in it too. You need to have faith that you're putting your body and your mind and your thoughts into what they're doing to also help manifest a healing way and to heal whatever ails me.
Well, I can say it hurts. Sometimes they can be a little rough on the body, but it's necessary to move all whatever's stored inside your body, that anger, that fear. It's necessary for them to apply pressure to move it out. And it's definitely scary, having to take whatever is bothering you to them and have them be so close to what's troubling you.
It's scary. It's scary to look into your past. It's scary to deal with it because you're opening yourself up to being vulnerable.
It's scary for a lot of people that have been living with trauma. They don't even know they're living in trauma. And a lot of our Indigenous people are living, in that trauma mode. And so when people come to us, we have to be gentle, we have to be kind, we can't re-traumatize people. We have to be, really careful on that. And our people are injured enough, and we cannot add more injury to our people. So we have to be very keen. We have to follow, where our people are at, and we can't force people to go to places where they don't want to go, in those places, and we have to be very respectful.
So being trauma informed to me means knowing that all of my trauma started from when I was a little boy. And that's the little one who was hurt by, say, my parents or by whatever it may be. And being trauma informed means knowing when someone steps on your toes, I guess, to hurt that little boy who's inside of me right now. And knowing when to say, okay, like what's going on here? What are they doing to me that happened to that little boy that's triggering me in the now? as an adult. I know how to take care of that little boy because I know what he's been through. And I know exactly what he needs to do his own healing. And so when something happens in the real world, for example, I'll say my sister. I left my house as a teenager because it wasn't the most stable environment with my mom. We had a strained relationship. And I recently moved back into that house with my sister to prevent her from being displaced and to keep that house in our family. And my sister was doing a lot of things that my mom used to do to me. And it really triggered me. It took me back to when I used to live with my mom, and it was scaring me. It's scaring me now. But I recognize that she's hurting that little boy. She's not doing it to me. It's that little boy inside of me that's hurt by the things that she's doing. And it's very easy for me to take that to the seven sacred, to the body work, and to get it out. It doesn't stick with me very long. I know when it happens, and I know how to get it out.
So what they did with me was, like I said, they laid me down and they just kind of felt out my back. And for them, I guess they have a spiritual connection and know before they even touch you. They'll like just rub your back, like at your lower back, and then they'll move their way up, and then they'll start really how do I say that, putting pressure.
For me, the experience of being doctored by Duck, Charlotte, and Chrissy was good. It was really good. I'm glad I went. It's still helping me today, and yeah, that's all I could say. It was good.
But we have to be real with our healing. We have to be really real within ourselves in our healing. But it's always up to that individual, how far they want to go in their healing. And if that's how far they want to go, then you don't force anybody. For my own personal experience, how it helps me, how I know people change and heal is personally my own son. So he's going through a lot of stuff like really hardship, I guess, heartbreak. And I got elders to come in to pray for him. I got my uncles and my one auntie to come in, and they did a ceremony. My brother came and they did a pipe ceremony for him. They smoked their pipes, and they all each had something like to talk to him about. And my auntie washed his feet and put holy oil on him and holy water, and today he's different. He's very, very different. Like it's just like a switch. I don't know. It's like a switch that he has more of a positive energy around him. Big time. And he's not doing those things what he did just a few days before that, and it was really scary for me. Really scary, because he was threatening to leave and to go and do all this stuff like with the gang life, and that for me was very scary, because it's sort of like that path he was going down. And when my auntie washed his feet, like she prayed, she said for his feet to go back onto the right path, because he was going this way, and that's what this is for, my boy. Like she said that to him, eh? It's just so, and that's what I think saved my son right now at this time in his life. So I feel like every time we do the work, whether we know it or not, somebody's getting something good from there.
It's scary in a way that you might not realize. Like you're like a life or death kind of scared. One of the first times I did work with them, I was involuntarily shouting no and trying to run away, like, no, like I don't want to say that. For example, like they said to me, I guess I'll get a little bit personal. They said like, I need you to yell it out, like what the issues that I was dealing with my parents. And I found myself, I didn't think about it. I just screamed no, like that I couldn't do it, how scary it was for me at the time. Yeah, it's scary, but you leave feeling lighter, kind of like reborn a little bit in a sense. But it's scary, but it's worth it.
For me, it was really, in the moment, it was scary, but in the end, it was very beautiful to me. I always find it beautiful to know that I feel better in the end.
I've known Doug and Chrissy and Charlotte for a long time. We come from the same reserve, Skownan, Manitoba, Dunji, Madeleine, Catherine, Dishinikas. I went to Charlotte for doctoring to heal my pain and hurts of what I was going through. I needed a lot of stuff from head to toe to release all the anger or everything. I just let everything out of what I was going through as a child, as a teenager, as a parent, and as a grandmother, a mother. A lot of things were going through my mind at that time. And after the release of all the anger that I was carrying, I felt better. I felt a whole lot better when all the tears that came out, all the screaming that I did, it helped me a lot. And as I sat there, I felt as if I was somewhere else when they started singing and when they started giving me the comfort. I felt that at peace. That anger, kind of like along with the tears, the screaming, the yelling, everything was kind of like, I'll say, lifted and thrown out.
Well, for example, like I really struggled with anxiety and depression for almost 10 years now. And I think that's when I started seeing them doing the work. And now, like, I find my anxiety is at an all-time low. My depression has improved. I kind of say like it's vanished, but you just got to continuously work at it. You can't just, go to one stop.
And I know the 7 sacred ways has helped me. I can't remember them all. I know there's respect there, and to be kind to people, to talk to people in a gentle way, to help them. But most of all, I got my healing from these 3 people working on me, on my body. Like I too was a sick person with all kinds of aches and pains. And they told me that we have in our body, we block stuff in our body. And this is where they worked on me to let go of all the stuff that I had carried in the past, which I didn't know. And today, I walk better. I don't have much aches and pains with the sciatic nerve that I had years ago. I used to be in a hospital. Every spring, I would go in a hospital 2 weeks flat on my back. And then with the healing, Doc Dennis did for me, that helped me big time, and I let go a lot of things which I didn't know I carried of what had happened to me. I could go way back to the residential school. Lots came from there that I didn't know I carried. I blocked them in my body. But now I don't have to carry anything like such things where I hear something. I used to carry that and I would get angry about that. Today I don't carry those stuff. It's not mine to carry. I give them to creator to handle.
Sometimes something will come up from my past that I haven't ever worked on before with Seven Sacred or being doctored on. And it would just be internally, like in my mind, I would find something new that was troubling me that I wasn't aware of before. And I would be able to work through it and say, okay, that's a fear of rejection, or that's like, this is an anger response. Like, how do I flip that, my response, and how do I get myself back? And I'm able to identify what my fears are, or what I'm angry about or sad about. And then I'll be able to take that to my next session of Seven Sacred and say, hey, okay, here, this is what I discovered. I have a fear of rejection. I need to work on this. And it's, yep, being trauma informed and from Seven Sacred has made it a lot more easier for me to get my life back on track, to heal all of my trauma from when I was a little boy, and whatever trauma might come my way, I can just brush it off a little. It's nothing.
And they've kind of helped me and guided me in a healthy way where I was able to look after myself, and I did a lot of personal development and then that was like the kickstart of being able to help myself, and yeah, being doctored by these loving people. I just love them so much. They're very helpful. They played a big role in my life, and yeah, top of the line for their jobs for me.
With Charlotte, who I've seen before for doctoring, and even on one-on-one sessions, first of all, she's family. I trust her with my whole heart and soul. And I know that I would not be judged by her for what I tell her. It is sacred to be kept in that session. And Charlotte would talk me through it, tell me everything she's going to do before she does it. She reassures me. And Charlotte's a fantastic human being, and I would let her help me. Was that a bad thing? But I would ask her to help me if I ever need that again, which I probably will.
When I got doctored by, well, Charlotte's my auntie, right? And Duck and Christy are my cousins. I found it really helpful. I had my suspicions about going in, thinking maybe it wouldn't help or something, but at the end of the whole process, I felt this weight lifted. So, and I really enjoyed that. And I continuously going to them to help me. And I realized that it's helped my mental health and overall my health in general.
So I've always been involved with the culture, but I haven't participated in the healing it could offer. So it was my first times going there, and since I've just been staying consistent, and I find that it's helped me a lot since.
Well, yeah, one of the things that happened for me, like I struggled with holding in anger quite often, and just the littlest, simplest touch on my back, it hurts, but it actually doesn't hurt. That's just all my anger where it's sitting, and it feels good to release that. You feel lighter in the end, and I like the feeling of afterwards. I find it very, how do I say that? Very calming.
I have done it, and I've let my heart open up. I let my mind open up while they're doctoring me, and they work on certain areas of my body that I have pain. If I am sad about something or angry about something, it's a specific spot in your body that it manifests to. And I'm not going to say everything about this, but they will work on that spot. Prayers, thoughts, touching, all combined makes you feel better after the session. It's almost a relief, that you will actually believe in something so much and go to these healers who doctor you and get that in return with relief. I think it's amazing, and I would tell anybody to try it.
Well, like I was relieved when they massaged me, like when they were pressing my back and my arms and my joints. Yeah, when I was sore, like I was sore before I seen them, but when I felt good.
When I was doctored by Doc Christy and Charlotte, I noticed that it seemed very intuitive for them, because they're gifted spiritually, all of them in their own way. And I think that made it easier on my part, because they carried a lot of the weight for me with their gifts. And I feel like that's very good for people, especially if they're new to this work, because when you're in the thick of it on that table, when they're working on you, you're not always in your body and you don't know what's going on with your surroundings. So it's good to have them as a lifeline when they're so good at intuiting where that work needs to be done in your body.
People do say to us, wow, like how did you know that? Or, and if we don't even know them, a lot of times when we worked with the people, we don't even know who they are. They would just come. So it's just our instinct, it's just where we are, I guess. I don't know how to explain it.
And it's amazing because, there's a lot of doubt in these ceremonies. I go in with a lot of doubt, but when I pinpoint an issue or a pain, it's somewhat rewarding, and I believe more. The more work we do, the more confirmations. It's quite the experience, and it's rewarding when a person comes out feeling better.
I don't know how we know, but we just know how to work with them. I guess through your gut instinct, your working from the heart. So it's just, that's the best way I could describe it.
And it's an eye-opener when we're in that ceremony, when we're doing that work with people. We get messages, and for me, it's amazing because it's really hard to explain, but the spirit comes in there, and how he works is mysterious. I gotta say, he tells me, on my part, he tells me where to go, where to feel, and possibly where to pull from. in that person?
Well, probably like why I go like that, maybe that's anger, eh? Like it's stuck on me. Anger and sadness. I think sadness has got to do a lot, eh? Yeah, about my dad, my mom, and yeah. But when I seen them, well, I felt good, eh?
I totally support them when in anything that they do because they've done that for me. So I'm able to try and help them any way possible to keep them going as well, whatever they're doing to help other people in the community and maybe even outside communities. They're doing a wonderful job, I think. And yeah, that was pretty good for me.
They invited me to and encouraged me to, but they never made me do anything I wasn't ready for. It's 100% me taking that first step, and they're serving as a lifeline. They have you. They take you to these scary places, but they're always there keeping you afloat, I guess, based in reality, grounded.
If someone asked me if they should do it, I would say yes, but just to keep an open mind because it could be intimidating, but the work you get done it's really good.
My Auntie Charlotte is a one-of-a-kind person. She is very respectful. There's so much I could say about her. She has this very calming soul. I'm always attracted to it. And she treats others very well. And I don't know what else to say. She is very loving and respectful, kind, caring. She puts the needs of others before herself. There's times where she forgets to take care of herself. She's so busy trying to make sure everyone around her is okay.
Speaking with Charlotte, she is very open. You could talk to her about anything. And she's welcoming. You just get this energy from her and it's just unexplainable.
Somebody came to me with Bell's palsy. Their face dropped, and they called me, and I said, "Well, I can't help you." And they said, "Yes, you can." I said, "No, I can't." And so they came knocking at my door and came in, and I kept telling them, "I can't help you. I can't help you." But that was my own fears, and I have to tell myself, the power doesn't even come from you. First of all, you're just a regular human being like everyone else. I don't have special powers. I'm not Superwoman. I'm just a regular individual human being. I have a connection with that part, and I'm a vessel. And then, so anyways, this person came, and I reluctantly gave in, and I said, okay, because that person said, I know you can help me. I know you can pray for me, she says. So it's the power of prayer, first of all. So I have in my room, my grandchildren know this one room in my house. It's called the spirit room or a healing room. And all of my stuff are in there, my stuff meaning, my drum, my bundle, earth medicines and all that kind of stuff is in there. And it's a real beautiful room. Anybody that walks in there can feel something. And so I got my stuff ready. I took my bundle out and I prayed for her. I did a ceremony for her. I took my pipe out and the rest of the stuff that comes with my bundle. And I prayed for her. And and you connect with the spirit realm, and you'll get messages. You get messages. You know, faith comes with it. You know, finding answers in the heart. FAITH, right? It doesn't come from your thinking. You need to get out of there, and get fully connected, and so after, you know, what after all the instructions came from spirit, you know, I told her, okay, this is what you're gonna do, and this is what's gonna happen, and and spirit said 4 days later she's gonna look in the mirror and her face is gonna be back to normal, and that's exactly what happened.
I never knew. Now that I know a little bit of it, I know who to go to. When I'm going through something, I will talk to either Charlotte, I will talk to Doc, and I would go to them.
I had anxiety, and I was wondering how to deal with it in a good way. Like, I didn't want to feel that feeling anymore, and I know it. Anxiety is not like it's. There's different levels for different people. Like, some of them are more severe, some of them are not so severe, and they told me like it's basically like fear and sadness that I'm carrying, and we smudged, like smudging helps a lot, like sage, cedar, and just praying for it, praying for all that energy that doesn't serve us anymore to go away from our beings, and let the Great Spirit take care of it. And that's what Charlotte told me. Like, there's something that we hold on inside that causes that anxiety, and I was asking for like a good positive ways, because I don't like taking medications from, like, you know, the pharmacy, and turning to what drugs and alcohol, weed, or booze. And yeah, so I just, like, I let it all out. Like, I told them everything, and then that's what basically comes down to. Basically came down to was me holding on to any fear or sadness, depression, anger. Like, it could have been something from our childhood that we haven't dealt with too, and, you know, dealing with it and resolving it in a good way. And from there, like, just keep walking and smudging and keep on the good road, and so that's what will help.
I believe that if you don't believe in yourself and in the person that's doctoring you or helping you, to believe that can manifest into better, feeling better, you know, thinking better, you know, that's what you need to do. You know, it takes them and you, Charlotte, and me, to make sure, not good vibes, but good spirituality, good faith, good, you know, work. And physically you feel better too, but also mentally you feel awesome, and spiritually you do.
If somebody is thinking about working with my cuckoo Charlotte, I can tell you that it could start a chain reaction of events. I've noticed that in some of the communities she's worked with, that this work kind of establishes a team of people in your community who will become trauma informed and healers in their own right. And it can't hurt to have new healers, new people to do this work in your community. And bringing her to your community could start that chain of events for you people to do your own healing.
I guess it's because the change that I made for myself, because the way my life was too, like years ago, and I wasn't perfect, and Still not today, but I'm trying. I got 17, now it's going to be 18 grandkids, so that woke me up. It's still challenging, but I'm still learning along the way. And then if I'm not sure about anything, then I go to Charlotte, or when I see Doug, if I need help with my grandkids, then I phone Doug or message him and to help. The programs that are being offered here, I go to. When I do have time, I go. So that has helped me change. Mm-hmm.
If you walk with the 7 teachings, like the 7 grandfather teachings, that was for our Anishinaabe people. Anyone could follow those 7 teachings, and anyone could run those ceremonies. So that's what I was taught, what I was told. And anything we learn, say if I learned how to make moccasins, like I show it to someone else, and then that's theirs to share with whoever too. Like we kind of like you know when like a water drops in the water, like there's ripples, eh? Like that's how the people work too. Like it has a ripple effect between all people. Yeah.
When I do this kind of work, 7 sacred ways, I know it helped me big time. I got healing from there, understanding where I came from way back to today where I am. I'm also an elder. People look up to me in the community because I've done a lot of healing, personal healing. My family, my children, my girls, my boys, my grandchildren, the whole family. And I know the 7 sacred ways has helped me.
I would go again, I'll say. And I've been going here and there to get that support from them because I trust them and they help me lots. They give me support.
We kind of share the culture between our neighboring communities, and I was told with the sharings and the teachings that we receive from elders, knowledge keepers, it doesn't belong to just us. It belongs to everyone, like no matter the color, race. Like we don't say it's ours. It's because Great Spirit meant it for all beings, like all life.
It just feels right, like the way I'm living and with the teachings, and it's just like you can't go back. Once I'm here now, and it's just like there's no turning back.
If you start doing this work, there's no going back. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like you can't put the cat back in the bag. Once you get trauma informed, once you understand how this work is, it changes your life, your perspective on how you view your own healing. It's a whole shift. I've become a completely different person, and I can say that I might be ready to finish university or to start a business, to achieve whatever I want to achieve. I have the tools to do that now because I started this work. It really did change my life.
I'm thankful that I'm starting to understand more and be part of the healing journey. I know it's going to take long, but still I'm here.
I'm not done with them. Like I'll still go but I'm scared of duck, sometimes.
Let's be real here. Curiosity kills the cats. I'm not here to win souls or change anybody's mind about my life, my belief, where I am, It's not about winning souls. It's about helping people. Whoever chooses to come and ask us for that help will help,
Iga manoia. That means you'll be okay. be all right when you start your healing journey.